Today we are releasing our first Littles curriculum series for ages 3 to 7, and we're super stoked because you've been asking for this so long, really. You've been asking, when will you guys have stuff for ages 3 to 7? Because all of our elementary series were ages 6 to 12, and we're proud to present to you today the first series, the David1 series, and the David2 series will be out as well. But in this video, we'll just go through David1 because David2 is very similar. As you know from the elementary series, the David series, both of them go through the story from David when he was a shepherd boy all the way through when he became king of Israel. So it's the book of 1 Samuel. So let's see, we'll go through all the little goodies that there are. So when you look at here, there's all these new files. The stop and go sign is part of a game where kids can hold up a stop sign or a go sign. We'll see that in the curriculum. Then we have a brand new salvation card for that age group. And that's kind of cool. So, kids ages 3 to 7 can't really read. So what you do in the small groups is you sit with them and you ask them the questions and you kind of circle the answer that they've given. And you see a better example of that in the next card, which is the prayer card. So every week you can have a prayer card, just like elementary. And then kids can circle the image that applies to them. Are they praying for people who are sick or hurt? Or are they praising God for something good that happened? People in need, all this kind of stuff. So that's really cool. Those are some new things. You'll see there's a parent letter that I don't really have to go into right now, but you can edit that letter and kind of announce the David series coming. Keep the communication open with the parents. And there's a read me first, which you can do on your own time. It kind of goes over everything and for the coordinator. So let's dive into the folders. Every folder has the same type of files because every lesson is equipped with the same awesome stuff. So in the first folder you see the kids' handouts, and these are the handouts that kids get at the end of the lesson. So when you see here, they are beautifully redesigned, especially for this age groups of 3 to 7. Now kids of that age cannot read. A lot of them cannot yet. And so the handouts are really for the parents to do together with their kids. It's really family ministry in a beautiful, amazing way. And when you look at the bottom, you see that the video game of David is ready for them as well. They can, while it's in development, the kids can be real game testers and test the video game of David. And then once it's fully done, every level that they can unlock reinforces the lesson that they just learned at church, which is amazing new type of children's ministry that is possible in our day and age now. And as you see, it's also a black and white version. A lot of you guys have been asking for black and white versions. Now we, as you see in the name of the folder, it says use color instead. Because we really recommend that you use the color one, but we know because of budget, not every church can afford that. But kids are more inclined to really take the colored ones home. But since you can give them to the parents as well, you can print them in black and white as well. So those are the handouts, and every lesson has a beautiful, beautiful handout. And the activities on those handouts, I didn't even go over them yet, but they are specially designed for that age group, and they're really age appropriate for them. And so we have two types of screen graphics folders. There's a PowerPoint version that I'll open up, but as you saw, there's also an image version. In case you don't have PowerPoint, it has every slide exported as an image. If you use any type of presentation software that a lot of churches are familiar with, such as Media Shout and stuff like that. Those can use the exported files, and you can just quickly import them. But the reason we gave you this PowerPoint file is so that you can edit them as well, because we believe that every curriculum you buy, you should be able to edit. We really, really don't like it when curriculum publishers, make it and lock everything up and go, no, we are the experts. You need to listen. You need to do it as we told you. That's not serving the church. That's kind of ruling over the church. And we feel that you should be able to edit everything because you know your kids best. And that's also why you see that the files here under the folders are both in Word documents as well as in PDFs. If you don't want to edit your lessons, or you have a different version of Word, or you're afraid that if you send the Word file that your volunteers will open it up in their computer and it will all be jumbled up, because they have a different version, then you can simply send the PDF that comes across exactly as it was meant to be. But if you want to edit it, you can open the Word docs. So here's the PDF of a lesson. There's some introductory stuff, and then it starts with the document to prepare you. And we even rewrote those, the little devotionals at the beginning to really match up with the lesson that you're teaching for this age group. So there's that. Then in the next page you see the lessons of the series. We always want to give you an overview of the entire series so that you see how your lesson fits in the whole. And the lesson themes are very similar to the elementary one, but changed a little bit to be appropriate for the right age group. But we were careful not to numb them down because kids, they will do what they're challenged to do. And when we have high expectations of kids, they'll live up to those high expectations. If we have low expectations, guess what? They'll live up to those low expectations as well. So we kept the expectations high because kids really want to grow in Christ. So then there's the outline of for the presenter, which is the entire lesson. You see the welcome, the prayer is rewritten for the age group. You see the worship songs. And then there's a new element that only exists for ages 3 to 7, which is the questions of the day. It's kind of a fun pre-game, if you will, where kids get to run around and answer the questions that have to do with the theme by kind of running and getting their wiggles out. And then there's a game. The games are all rewritten for the age group as well, where all kids get to play every single time. That's one of our guarantees, that most of our games, all kids get to play. And then you see halfway into the game, you see the meaning. Because every game has a meaning. Every game is a parable. We don't waste any time having segments that are just purely for fun and not for teaching. Everything is both fun and both teaches, so that you only have an hour in the week with the kids and you don't want to waste any minute. So when we scroll further down, you now see the Bible story. The Bible story, there's a live teaching option and there's also a video teaching option. Let me show you both of those. So the live teaching script is this one here. When we open it up, you see that you can teach live straight from this. Fun thing is, if your projector breaks last minute or your power goes out, we've been part of church plants where sometimes the power would just go out. And what do you do if you have brilliant multimedia, but then multimedia doesn't spin up? Well, you use that plan B, you use the live teaching. And some churches prefer live teaching, and you can do that as well. Some churches have so much time that they teach both live and video, and that's also possible with these lessons. We want to give you every possibility to do it your way. So here is a teaching lesson. They are beautifully custom animated lessons. Here you go.
And be a shining example to all, but Israel didn't listen. This got them into big trouble. Israel's enemies would come to hurt the people and take their things. Confused. So God spoke to the prophet Samuel, and old and tall. Samuel thought that he would certainly be the next king.
So there you have it. The animation is beautiful. It's custom made in France for us. And these animations are the same for elementary, because we don't want to make them look even younger, because younger kids want the cool stuff that their older brothers and sisters get. We did rewrite the script of how the lesson is taught, and so the voices are different, and the complete videos are recut for that age group to make sense and to really engage them. When you look at the right, you see this props needed bubble, and all the props that you need are always on the right hand side. You just have to skim the right and to see what props you need for that lesson. And as you know from us, we always want you to not be busy, and we give you as little props to get as possible. Some of the games don't even require props at all, because we want you to spend time with the kids, not in the stores spending all your budget. What we also don't do is turn our lessons into product catalogs. We see that happen so often in children's ministry, where basically you have a lesson, but it says, oh, buy this off of our website, give the kids this off of our website, and they're just trying to kind of get money out of you. And we feel that if you buy a lesson, you should be able to apply the lesson without having to buy more and more and more. So we try to avoid that as much as possible. Then there's the What's It All About. It's kind of a review segment, especially written for this age group, where you get to review with the kids what they just learned during the teaching. So then there's a Chew on This, which is basically the kids' small groups. And you can send kids to their own small groups, or if you don't have enough leaders, you can do it as a large group segment. So there's 2 different choices that you have there. What you can do for that is you print the small group lessons. You see it here called Chew on This. And you can give these printed items to your small group leaders, and it's really simple. Just 3 questions to go deep, some tips for the leaders there. You don't have to make it too long. It's wonderful as it is. And so let's go back to the David lesson. Then you have the Stop and Go segment, where it's basically a fun quiz, and kids get to vote by holding up a stop or a go sign, which are also I showed you before, are in the lesson segments. Oh, I have to go up here to the David lessons, but I showed you those already. Then there's a mind meld, which is the Bible verse. It's in a really new way that kids get to learn the Bible verse, and then you already start getting towards the end of the lesson. And the beautiful thing is that the PowerPoint, the screen graphics will go alongside the lesson. So even if you were, had a little time to prepare and stuff like that, you can put the PowerPoint on and follow along with it, and it will help you stay on course. So this is just a one lesson overview of the David Little's curriculum. There's so much more. It's based on 16 breakthroughs that we've never seen before in children's ministry, which you can find on our website as well. So enjoy them. We will be making many more series into the Little's curriculum. So let all your coordinators know about this, those who work with ages 3 through 7. And we are so happy to serve all you churches across the world. God bless you.